Finally from us this evening, graffiti. All of us who walk by it or drive by it have an opinion about its value or lack thereof. But whether we like it or not, in New York, some graffiti now has a different message, and it is darker than before. Here's ABC's John Donvan.
Over the years, some have called it vandalism. Others have called it art. But today, down in those city blocks, ruined by drugs and bloodied by violence, graffiti is talking about death and keeping a record of who has been lost. Jessica Guzman, murdered by a cab driver. Her name went up on a wall. Patrolman Jeff Herman, shot dead in the line of duty, remembered now near the station where he worked. Melvin Gonzalez, his murder by a drug dealer was barely noted in the papers, but he got space here in the neighborhood, where his mother comes every day.
It hurts me, but I feel good too. I feel good too because I know that people won't forget him.
The neighbors chipped in to hire the artist. He calls himself Per, and like many graffiti artists, he sees this as business. He's a former subway scribbler who grew up. He also paints decorative fantasy scenes in commercial storefronts for money. Per charges up to $1,200 for a memorial wall.
It doesn't have to always be about painting subways or doing something illegal. Converting things into something positive out of something that was considered negative.
And business is tragically steady, on street after street after street. The paintings tell of people, many of them kids, killed by drugs or drug dealers or AIDS or each other. Joe Sciorra found hundreds of memorial walls in New York City, and he wrote a book about them.
The whole community needs to work through that whole grief and a way of sort of reclaiming the streets and reclaiming their lives.
New York City police report more than 60 children under the age of 16 were murdered here last year. Statistically, that is an improvement over recent years, if only it read that way on the city's walls. John Donvan, ABC News, New York.
That's our report on World News Tonight. Nightline later. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night.